I'm Jen, and I'm with my good friend Jill Johnson, and this is Behind the Curtain. Gelynda, thanks so much for joining me today.
Hi, Jen. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure as always.
So please tell me a little bit about your experience with modeling.
I've had experience with runway modeling as well as like print and editorial modeling. I started modeling in November of 2016.
And also, you are now running your own business, right?
Last year, actually in October, I started an Etsy called Inspired Attire, where I sell like handmade hair combs and earrings, such as these, and just different hair accessories and earrings for any occasion.
So, part of our interest in this podcast is talking about different experiences in fashion where things might appear one way, but actually behind the curtain, it's something different. So, have you had any experiences like that?
One experience that stands out in particular is this last season that I walked, back in March. I had a runway show and I was in the middle of getting my hair done when all of a sudden the fire alarm was going off. Someone apparently set it off their vape pen and we had to evacuate the building. And I was in the middle of getting finger waves. And for people that they're not familiar with that, you need to have a ton of products to like get the hair in a certain state and then comb it through to make that finger wave shape. So we evacuated, and it was also really cold. Like the next day, it snowed. Or it might have been the same day actually. It was freezing and just having to stand outside. You have like product dripping on you.
Oh,
It was not a fun time, but we still ended up. I was sitting backstage and like I was looking all fabulous, but a lot of people like what really went behind my hair.
oh my gosh. So, were you already in your gown at this point?
No, no. The production team, they're really good about sending the models to hair first, then makeup, then you put on your design. So no garments were harmed in the making of.
Of this photo. That's excellent. Wow. So I think you and I have spoken before about some of your hair adventures in the history of participating in fashion. And you've even mentioned to me before that sometimes you do your own hair.
I did have one instance where I was getting ready for a runway show, and the look that the designer had for me was simply using my natural curls. This was when I had like hair down to here. So this was a few years. I had my curls, and the designer just wanted it pinned to like show off the one shoulder gown that I was modeling. The hairstylist, instead of just working with my natural hair texture, they decided to straighten my hair and then recurl it. And not only is it going against my curl pattern, but it's doing double damage on my hair by using two different heat products on it. Needless to say, like I had to go get a haircut to kind of trim excess dead ends and stuff. But something that should have taken maybe 5 minutes ended up being a lot longer.
I guess for hairstylists working in fashion, what might you advise in the future for this kind of interaction?
Yeah, I think it's really important to work with different textures. I'm black and white, and I've seen like my other fellow black models who like the hairstylists don't know how to work with black textured hair. So, being familiar and actually working with different hair types. And also, something from a designer point is when you have a look you want to go with your gowns and stuff, like I would encourage to work with people's natural texture. Like, not everything has to be straight hair because straight hair isn't always sleek and in fashion. And when you say like, oh yeah, straight hair and sleek, it's like you're just promoting this bias that texture hair isn't really all that, when in fact it's actually very versatile.
Oh, You just said it right there. I agree completely.
Things I just want to kind of reiterate back with the hair is just being able to work with different people, different backgrounds, cultures, and just maintaining professionalism. It's not just for the models; it has to be for the hair, the makeup, the production team, the designers. I feel like when we all work towards that professionalism and kindness, it makes for a better runway show or even editorials, you know. So just depending on it, that advice just works well for whether you're doing runway, print, any of that.
Yeah, professionalism for sure. That's just good life advice. What are some misconceptions that you've heard about yourself?
I posted on my Instagram, this was a few months back, just like some modeling stuff. And someone commented, "What makes you think you could be a model?" And they got slammed for it. And I feel like their misconception was just based off my appearance. Like I'm on the taller end as far as like the woman. I'm on the shorter end for a runway model. I'm 5'8.5". So still fairly tall, but for runway, that could be perceived as short. And I'm also like really curvy. Like I would say I'm an hourglass, like to the T as far as the curves go. The person who made that comment to me, like they just proved to themselves that they just have a very narrow vision and bias of what a model should look like. And you don't have to be like super skinny or super tall. You just have to be able to, you know, sell a product, because that's what we are as models. We're salespeople. We're trying to get you to buy like this makeup look or this designer's outfit or like these accessories. And I just feel like that person, I feel like their insecurities might have been showing there as well.
I think you addressed it really beautifully.
And I'm sure you're aware of this as well, but you don't have to have long hair to be popular. Like last year when I chopped off my hair, it was from here now to, it was a little bit shorter than this, but it was short. And my biggest worry was, what if I don't walk for as many people for this past spring show I did? I ended up getting selected by 5 designers. So that's not an issue. So, but I feel like confidence will take you a lot farther than you may realize.
Mm, that's a good point. And on that note, too, I think insecurity can really speak volumes. When you're on the runway, if you seem like you're scared or in a photo shoot, I think people can almost smell that fear.
Oh, absolutely. Like the eyes, like you can read those emotions pretty well too. I mean, everybody has their insecurities. I would say mine is my smile, because like I have a gummier smile, like when I'm really like, hey. And like when I'm really happy, like I feel like I scrunch up all my features too. But I mean, that also, the same thing that I'm insecure about makes me very unique.
I love that about you. Like I love when your smile is super bright and like that's the Gelynda smile. So yeah, I think the pictures that I have of you on my phone, you're smiling super bright.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's hard because it's like, yeah, like I am very confident. At least I believe that's kind of the most important thing too. It's what you believe you are as a person. And you know, just own your look. Like I'm not going, when I've auditioned for previous runway shows, I'm not going in there to conform to like this type of model. Either you accept me for who I am or don't accept me. That's another thing too, is just preparing the models for that kind of thing too. Especially like I've known other Black models who, you know, it's like they have to do all this extra preparation, like make sure they have like the right protective style in, or like come like this and all that, when in reality, like they should be compensated for that, and they're not always.
Can you say more about that? Like the type of extra protection, the type of
Well,
extra work, extra labor that goes in when they should be compensated? Because I think, I mean,
uh,
maybe it's just me, but I think a lot of people may not be aware of that.
yeah, so you know, like some people might be wearing like their natural hair and it's like just how it grows out of your head, you know, like just curls, like your texture.
Yes.
And seeing like other model friends, like they've had to like bring their wigs
Right.
and it's there's a lot of extra stuff.
Yes.
At and then makeup too, like sometimes not like the makeup artist doesn't have like dark enough foundation, and I don't think models, especially black models, should be like with darker skin, they shouldn't be having to bring in foundation when they're able to do these other lighter skin tones. Like you should to accommodate for everybody.
I agree. And or they have to wear the incorrect skin tone and have it photographed poorly or not match correctly.
Yeah, I was backstage, and one of my model friends, who's a darker skinned black woman, she drove up 3 hours to do the show and got her makeup done, and they didn't match her skin tone. Like, it made her skin tone like ashy and stuff. She has gorgeous skin tone without foundation, and you made her look ashy. And the model took her makeup off and stuff. And you know what I did? Once I saw her do take off her makeup, I just looked the other way. This person not only drove 3 hours I don't want her to have a bad experience and invest all in this time, because the compensation was to get these beautiful runway images, and it's not going to be beautiful if she doesn't have the proper makeup done like she deserves.
I agree. And maybe this is overstepping on my part, but so much of the makeup, in my opinion, should be accentuating what's already there, like accentuating the beauty of what's already there without taking away. Like if you want to make it artistic, if you want to use the designer's vision, that's great, but don't take away what's already there.
Exactly. Like at a very minimum, like the bare minimum is getting the model's foundation right.
I mean, I had a panic attack last night thinking about, excuse me, I really did. I had a panic attack last night thinking about doing this show and offending people, and the thought of inviting unwelcomed comments or scrutiny, because I just really believe that people would tell me to sit down and shut the fuck up and close my mouth. But I think, like you said, we're doing something that's important, and people need to talk about these things. There needs to be a platform for people to say, this is what's going on. People don't know what's happening. And it's not necessarily like scandalous and lascivious things. It's just there's a whole world that exists. There's an ecosystem that exists within the fashion world. And it's important for us to dispel some of the myths.
Like there's a difference between quote unquote like being a diva and like not liking something because like it's not your favorite colors. Between that and having a black model or any model with a darker skin tone have their makeup look ashy. There's a difference. Like it's a very valid issue. Like a lot of black models are not being treated fairly and expected to do more or overcompensate people that don't know how to do hair and makeup. Kind of like being able to share what has been observed or experienced directly. Hopefully that brings the light to, hey, we're not divas. Like this is a valid concern and it should be addressed.
Thank you so much for saying it like that. That was perfect. So final question, what have been some of your favorite kind of joyful behind the curtain moments?
I was the finale in her show and just was walking backstage. Like everybody's like, wow, like your outfit. Like it was a beautiful gown. Like I literally felt like a star, literally, because it was a star gown. So, but like just seeing like every single piece of it go together, from the shoes that I wore with it, which I thrifted a couple days before, and to make them like having like the hair, it was finger waves, and then just the makeup look. it enhanced my beauty. Like you could like it accentuated my lips. You could see my freckles, and it was still me, but it was still very like, okay, this is fierce. Like everything that went towards that entire look was just perfect.
Do you know how much you lit up talking about that?
Yeah, like
Like,
it's
I mean, wow.
yeah. Oh, another thing to add to it as well was when the designer's like, hey, like if you want to design some earrings to go with your outfit, like you could do that. And I did design like these like gold star chain earrings with it as well. So like it just like the whole look was just cohesive, and it was just I think the negative thing about that experience was having to take off the gown and my face and like washing my finger waves out. That was the only negative.
Man, that is so real. Is like the low is when you have to end the night and take it all down. It's like the Cinderella, like, oh, everything's turning back into a pumpkin, but like you had the best night. That's the low of when you have a great show. But
Yeah.
wow. I really liked when you were talking about the honor of being the finale. Can you explain that a little more? Because I think some people who've either never been to a runway show or never been in a fashion show may not understand why that's a big deal.
Well, the reason why being a finale is a big deal is you're the very last look that goes on the runway. Like there's no one to queue after you, so you have like quite a while, depending on the runway and type of show. But this particular runway show, like I had the runway to myself for a while. I had to book it though because it was like the music they had was very fast. But you know, like it was just me. And then when this designer had a waterfall, and which again is all the models coming back out at the same time. But also about that is sometimes the designer will either like just kind of come out at the end or say hi, or this particular designer like they'll walk with the finale. And it was cool because I this designer, like she's a really amazing person. She always strives for being inclusive and to like be able to walk with the designer like hand in hand. We're walking together, and just to see all of her works and to see how happy she was with her collection, you know, it was a really great feeling. And to be the finale, it was great to experience that.
What was going through your head as you were doing the finale walk?
I was like, wow, this music is pretty fast. You better book it. But also with the that I was walking and like just move with it because I wanted to get my photos. My
Right.
designer recommended to all the people wearing gowns in particular to like lift it up a little bit as you're so you're not stepping all over the design for protecting the arm. So like I was keeping that in mind, but I was also like, okay, like still like move with it a little bit, like show how the garment moves. Cause again, I'm selling this outfit. So that was the biggest thing. And I'm glad I did what I did because the designer, when she got the pictures back, she was like, you got so many good photos.
Can you flash us a pose real fast? Like, oh yeah, girl. Yeah, like was it one of these or just like how did it go? How did
Like you smile with your eyes, like you're not like twitching, but you're just like,
Oh my God, look at that. Oof. Oh, I'm the photographer. Okay, okay.
and pretend there's in the runway stuff.
There's wind, wind. Oh my God, look at her. Look at her. She's fabulous. She's fabulous. Look at her. Wow. Well, if anyone's still watching, bless them. Gelynda, this has been such an amazing experience. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Well, this has been Behind the Curtain. Like and subscribe. Bye.